Hello, it is time. We have waited out the episodic break. Lost Records Tape 2 Rage is here.
Could have used
We're
more
here.
rage.
What's up?
I could have used more rage.
A little
Oh, it
bit.
was pretty ragey. I think there's a lot of rage going on there. Maybe more ragey than I expected.
Mm.
But we've got Isla, we've got Huber, we've got Elise, and we
Hi.
are about to get into it. So if you've not played Tape 2 yet, get out of here. And if you haven't seen Tape 1 spoiler mode, go check that out too. But this spoiler mode starts right now.
Spoiler mode, final warning, spoiler mode, activated.
All right. I was just put in charge of this thing a second ago, so I don't know what we're talking about other than Tape 2. Starting out with everyone kind of split up a bit. People
Yes.
people got in trouble, as you would expect.
Yeah.
Probably nothing worse than when a parent is mad or disappointed in you. I mean, that's like a top 10 worst feelings. So just like Swan, getting yelled at by her mom. Because I took the blame at the end of last episode.
I think I did
don't-
too, yeah.
Same.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was feeling that for sure.
I also get the impression that Swan is historically the good kid, doesn't cause
Yeah.
any trouble. So
Yeah,
this is
I feel that
probably a
too.
big benchmark in Swan's adolescence.
Yeah. Yeah, the absence of the parents felt kind of like more obvious in this one. Like like Swan's mom just being a voice is a
Yeah.
cute choice and whatever, and I get that. But like Kat's parents just not being around
Mhm.
while Corey is like comically villainous and like yelling at their daughter in their
Beating their
house. I'm like,
terminally
what is
ill daughter.
happening? Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't believe that this would be possible. Like, why would they allow this abusive man anywhere near any of them? Like, it's crazy.
That was one of my big hangups with part two, is I felt Corey broached a little bit too into the
Yeah.
comic.
Ridiculous. Yeah.
I
Also,
felt-
how do you're protective of this terminally ill girl by like physically manhandling her?
Yeah, by abusing
Yeah.
her emotionally
In-
and physically.
Yeah, in episode 1, I was like, oh, maybe like setting up some Corey redemption in
Yeah.
2.
Yeah.
And then it went the complete other way where it was like, whoa, this guy is a monster.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because
Like-
at the end of one, you get the impression of, oh, he's been this way, he's been so harsh because of this reveal.
Right.
Yeah.
No.
No. And at the concert, it seemed like he was digging it like for a few shots, at least in my
Yeah,
I was like,
Yeah.
oh, okay, he's into it. Like he actually
that
like
was my read too.
yeah.
Same.
It and then like actually replayed the scene where Swan sneaks into Kat's house, where I stayed and left just to because the first time I left because I thought like she would follow me. I'm like, let's go. That's what we're here to do is leave.
Right.
Let's do it. But she didn't do it. And then like I replayed it because that felt like an F up where I stayed and like Corey's behavior when you stay makes a little more sense, but Corey's behavior when you leave is just insane. He rips up the tickets for no reason. Like he just does it because the game needs him to do it. And like it was just like it got into the ridiculous territory for
Yeah.
me.
I agree with him for sure. I agree with that.
Yeah.
He was like, yeah, comic book villain levels. I'm just like, this guy is a psycho dude.
But it was interesting because in the ending thing, it was like Dylan stands up for Kat against Corey was one of the options, and I was like, "Whoa! Like, what do you have to do to make that happen?"
Oh, yeah. That's you get a chance to like interview her when you come to take the money back, when you come to clean up outside of the bar.
Mhm.
And
did that.
there you can really start to make her like question like whether she should actually stay with this guy or not.
Huh. I guess I botched that because I said something about that, and she just got mad at me and ended it.
Yeah, I botched that too, and because it was like earlier in the episode, so I
Yeah.
wasn't gonna like step on that situation. If you asked me that again after the episode, I would be like, dude, get away from this guy.
Yeah.
But I think I was still under the impression that there would be some kind of like
Mhm.
redemption turn,
Yeah.
which was
bought-
like never gonna happen.
I botched every choice in this game. I'll be frank.
I really felt like I was. Yeah.
My ending was not successful. It was not a good ending.
Oh no, what
And
happened?
I mean, I don't know if we're at that point yet, but I don't know if any of you got a good ending. But in mine, Swan is left entirely alone in the diner.
Oh
Oh
wow.
no.
Yeah.
Oh,
Autumn, for me, Autumn was still there. Nora left.
Yeah,
which
Yeah,
was a
that's what happened to
bummer.
me.
It was a
I got
tough
that
one.
one too.
But Autumn and I were still there, and like the ending was nice. Like they had a nice goodbye. They didn't like kiss or anything, but they like were like it was really nice to reconnect. And then at the very, very end, Swan like jumped into the void.
Oh, the abyss. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that crazy weird post credits thing.
Post credits. Yeah.
Um, yeah, I'm trying to think about like what steps we
Yeah,
need to get to.
I think it's like it's hard because we're starting at a place of heartbreak of like Swan has found her people, she's found her friends, and now they're fractured. They're being
Yeah.
told you can't be friends anymore, but then also some of them are just making that personal choice. Like I feel like Autumn in mine was particularly she says she's leaving. She's like, I don't want any part of this anymore. And like it's the Muppets have dispersed.
Yeah.
They can't save the theater because they're all scattered to the winds.
Yeah, let's think about like I'm trying to think about like when you're cleaning up the bedroom and you're like grounded and all that stuff before you actually go anywhere.
Did anyone else have the most difficult time with that perspective puzzle?
I
Of
definitely
like
like
arranging.
Oh my god, yeah. Oh my god. That took me way longer than it should have, or I thought it would. I was like, oh, Resident Evil box puzzle, let's
Yeah,
go.
yeah.
It took me
was
like
that hard
10
for you,
minutes.
Blood.
I'm trying to think about which puzzle.
Packing the
Like,
box
packing
in
the
your
box.
room.
Oh, yeah, I actually managed to get that pretty quickly.
Damn.
But
There's a trophy
funny
if you do
enough,
it fast.
I played I played at GDC. I played a game that WoW is representing. That's basically that, and
Okay.
like that was super hard. So this was actually kind of
fun.
chill in comparison to trying to get that trunk packed.
You were training with a weighted vest.
Yeah, he's dialed in.
You-
But there, like I did try to call.
I forgot
Uh,
to try to call anyone.
I
was-
called
I-
everyone.
I tried to
Call
call
everyone.
I tried to call
Desperate.
the friends, but yeah, Autumn. I got the voicemail, and then yeah, I got Nora's dad.
Oh.
And then he was
Yeah,
saying
yeah.
that yeah, she's grounded and all of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't call.
But I think that because I told Autumn later that I tried to call her, I think that kind of helped keep her close. That like she didn't feel as estranged. And there was a couple other things that I think too, because we were talking about she was uncomfortable with like the ritual at the abyss in episode 1.
Yeah.
And I had also chosen not to do that, and so she felt like
Mm.
a connection.
Yeah, I
to
sided with her in
Swan
that,
because of
too.
that. Yeah. So I
Just
think
because I was trying to romance, you know?
right.
If there's a blood ritual, I'm gonna do it.
Yeah, Sam. Yeah, Sam, I gotta do it. I gotta summon the spirits.
Yeah,
felt-
and then what's up?
It just felt like such lows compared to where we started episode 1, which
Yeah.
is this place of like Swan being this very innocent, young woman, and like, oh, she's got like the summer ahead of her, and now it's like, damn, we got to go take our hard-earned money over to the bar to repay for the damage we inflicted.
Yeah.
Which am I the only one that like? Do we never actually get to give anyone the money?
I didn't hear
I-
anything about money. I just
I
cleaned
gave-
up the parking lot.
Oh, really? I gave it to Dylan.
Okay,
Oh.
maybe it was in there and I just missed it, or it was
I
because I
think.
got distracted by the interview. I didn't think about it.
I
think,
didn't
yeah.
recall anything about money. I just cleaned up the parking lot before I talked to her.
Yeah, same.
I think or maybe I tried to give it to Dylan, or I did.
Because that's the whole reason you were going up to
Yeah.
the bar was to pay them back.
Oh, mine was just to clean it.
Same. Mine was so clean.
I cleaned up and I found the book for Pam.
Yeah.
That was
Okay, I
cool.
didn't
Yeah,
find the book
Pam
for
in the
her.
It
past.
was in the dumpster. It was cool to see Pam as a younger person and
Yeah.
that she was like
Mhm.
still like worried about ghosts and
Totally.
Bigfoots
Yeah.
and stuff, and I was like, okay, yeah, Pam, all right.
Yeah,
We
she
need
has
some
this-
Pam DLC. Let's go.
Apparently, you
could
can hook
work.
her up with the bartender. But
Yes.
Yeah, I did that.
Oh,
Did not
really?
achieve that.
Yeah.
I
Blood matchmaker.
my gaydar was off on her. I thought she was. Oh well.
Yeah, I
Um,
love that bartender. He's jolly.
Gus.
I found him kind of menacing.
Oh,
I,
he's so
yeah.
chill.
I kept thinking, like, is there going to be some, especially in
Yeah.
the first episode?
In the
I was like,
first
is there gonna be
episode.
some weird twist with this guy.
The second one, I was like, okay, he's probably
Yeah.
just a guy. But yeah, I mean, like, I think that it's telling which two of us were scared of the bartender man
Yes.
and which two were not.
It's life in the tape
I was at ease because her and Pam clearly went back so long. Like they were homies forever. And Pam is like local town.
The
chill
bartender
person.
and Pam, or Swan
Yeah, the bartender and Pam.
Yeah,
The
okay.
bartender
Yeah.
and Pam had
Well-
like a history. So I was like, oh, okay, like he's chill.
I also had my very wrong theory that the bartender was Corey grown up and we just didn't recognize him.
Oh.
That would have
Which
been
was-
interesting.
Quickly disproven in this one.
Fuck Corey. God.
Dude, fuck Corey, straight up.
Good
Or trash
grief.
bag.
But
Like,
yeah,
actual
with
trash.
with that moment though, when you actually do like set him up because Pam is talking about like going out to some cabin or whatever, and then like you like encourage Gus to like go along with her, and then I think you say something about like it's a date or something like that, and
Oh.
Yeah,
and,
yeah.
and Pam is like, yeah, thanks. He wasn't actually gonna pick up on what I was putting
Yeah,
out.
he would have never made the move himself or whatever.
Oh,
Yeah.
it
that's
was good.
funny.
I
It
think
was
I
very
interpreted
cute.
that entirely different where I was like, this woman doesn't want this guy bothering her. Like I was
Yeah.
like, I was like, it's great to travel alone. You know?
Oh, I think
I
that's
also-
what I said too.
yeah, yeah.
Shoot.
I also love the you know, again, kind of to her personality when you talk to her in the past, because like it, I don't think that in the past she ever says that it her name, so it's like you have to put two and two together.
Yeah.
But she's like, yeah, when I was your age, I thought people my age were all lame. Too.
Mhm. Yep.
It was
Oh.
nice. Like I want to talk about the successes in this
Yeah.
chapter in this game as the whole. Like, I think that the slow burn worked a little better for me in the first part than in this part. I kind of expected / wanted this half to kind of be more pedal to the metal, but the parts that I did really like were, I mean, I think that the ending, like seeing Swan as an adult, was really nice.
That was a
That was a
great
great
reveal.
freaking
Great
move.
reveal.
10
Great
out of
moment.
10.
Loved it.
And then like opening the box, and Autumn was there for me. Like I wished that Nora was there because I
Same.
think that would have
Fuck.
really hit hard. But like going through the stuff in the box was really nice, and like the context that it was Dylan that sent it, like it was
The context was that Dylan was supposed to send.
right, supposed to send it, yeah. But I think
the
Kat,
deeper you get in the box, the more you realize that like, how would this be in the
How would
box?
this
How would
exist?
that be
Yeah.
in the box? Then like eventually, and
The
then you
camera
see
with the charge,
camera, and it's
yeah.
like, yo.
which was
Menacing.
cool. And like I think that I don't know, like I'm not like down on this game, but it is kind of a mixed bag for me because
Yeah.
It was a roller coaster, yeah.
For sure.
I kind of wanted it to, you know, go harder, I guess, or like, you know, go more into one direction or the other, supernaturally or otherwise. And like, yeah, I don't know, but the camera was cool. Like, I don't know, it was just weird, like an interesting choice. I mean, it makes sense now knowing that the box is just kind of an emotional thing sent by their friend, that they did save it to the very end of the game, you know?
Yeah.
But like,
I
yeah, I don't know, whatever.
think it got definitely bogged down with Corey's unnecessary menace.
He was the rage of the rage.
Yeah, yeah. Like,
yeah, like he
it
kind of
just-
was. Like,
Yeah. And then, you know, like cancer storylines are cool and all, but
no, they're not.
they're like,
It was
yeah.
very difficult. This game was actually really
Yeah.
difficult for me to play through.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah,
like the cancer storyline, I was like, okay, I guess we're just like all in on this. So like
Just doing that, yeah.
yeah, when that's a plot line, it overshadows like everything. It becomes
Yeah.
like solely about that.
Yeah.
And I do like the dynamics of each person and how they deal with Kat's illness, including like Kat herself and how like everyone is dealing with that.
Yeah.
But it just became like the sole focus of the entire thing. And
Yeah.
I could have like, whereas part one was just more coming of age, more things going on. So I just feel
And
like it kind of just like took all the air out of
Yeah,
out of the
and
room,
it
you know?
now that I think about it, it sort of feels like a hat on a hat on a hat, because it's like we've already got, okay, Swan is moving away at the end of the summer, but she's made friends for the first time in her life. We've already got abusive older sister's boyfriend. We've already got like teen rebellion. You know, I think any one of those could have been the engine, you know, mixed with the supernatural elements that like would have been all right. Like, yeah, Kat being sick just kind of like made the whole thing kind of dour. And
Yeah, it was like
I
the only thing that
"Ugh."
even mattered, really. Like nothing else matters. This person has cancer and is going
Right.
to die. Like, why do I care about anything else that's going on?
It took the wind out of
Like,
everything else's
yeah,
sails. Like,
yeah.
and it also like it made Corey's behavior and Dylan's behavior
Name.
all the more ridiculous, because I was like, this bitch is dying. Like, you're behaving like an idiot. Like, this
Yeah.
isn't even interesting or cool or like good storytelling. It's like, no, this is unbelievably stupid that you're behaving this way.
But I also never got Dylan standing up for her. So like
Yeah,
maybe
Which would've
that
made
would
sense.
That definitely helped the dynamic, I think.
that absolutely would have helped my
Yeah.
personal
Yeah.
Yeah.
playthrough
Me too.
storyline for sure.
I think the parallel timelines, knowing in the present, we know that these women all, or as girls, they dispersed. We know that they lost contact. So that removes a little bit of, I think, the suspense and the mystery of the past timeline, because we know the future. So we're like, okay, well, we
Right.
know at the end of this, we know that they fell out of contact.
The Yellow
Yeah.
Jackets.
Well, I've always,
conundrum.
to me, that was kind of
Yeah.
like a compelling point, because it's like what actually happened to do that.
which actually was another weak point for me, because because we know the future, the core mystery then becomes, okay, what happened and why did they swear to never see each other again?
I know what you did last summer.
Right. But then so like when the moment comes and the reason they swore to never see each other again is just the abyss wants us to never see each other again. I was like,
that
that's
didn't
not-
land for me, Isla.
Yeah.
I agree that did not land at all for me.
Like, if they felt guilty for killing Corey, like, because in my game Nora pushed him, like,
Same.
which I think maybe made Nora
I pitched
harder to
them
keep.
Swan.
Oh, you did? I
Yeah.
I
With
defended
mine,
Kat.
they were like, Kat and Corey were struggling, and Kat was like kind of pushing Corey, and then fell in with him.
Whoa.
Whoa, Kat went in
Oh.
with him?
Yeah.
Whoa.
Crazy.
Whoa.
I
So
wanted the
mine-
Big Little Lies one.
Where was Kat? How did Kat end up in yours?
So for me, Nora pushed him, and then they like, I think the dance thing where they floated was before that, but
Yeah.
they did. Then Kat was like, the abyss says we can never see each other again.
Yeah.
And then they put their
Oh,
hands
weird.
on top of each. Yeah, which seemed stupid to me, but they put their hands over each other. But then this part was kind of cool. Kat, while they had their hands like making the promise, Kat just kind of like vanished.
Disintegrates.
Like
Yeah.
she like started glowing
Oh.
purple and just vanished into the
And
woods.
that same thing applied for me, but with Swan being the pusher.
Okay. So I guess
Huh.
if Kat, so wait, how did they come to the conclusion that they should never see each other again in yours, Blood, with Kat not there? Because she said that for me.
Yeah. I mean, it was like essentially like what had happened. Like Kat and Corey were both gone, and it was like they were, to me. Yeah, that's why like my version actually sounds like it should be the canon or something. And like I
Your
don't
version,
usually get to that.
Yeah.
Honestly,
Because it's like
sounds
they
more
both
sensical.
disappeared, and they're like, we gotta just get away from this, and like
That makes
you
way
know,
more sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, mine
Uh,
it was really kind of unsatisfying that Kat was just like, the magic hole in the ground says we can't see each other anymore.
Right.
Yeah,
Like,
I don't know if she needed to say that, because I still think with her disintegrating and him falling into the abyss, that's two disappeared people.
Yeah.
If the girls would arrive to the conclusions of like,
Yeah.
no one's going to believe us, so we have to break off contact and go our separate ways. Also, we've just been through this major trauma. I don't know if our friendship can overcome this.
And also it
I
kind of
think
just like, in mine, I don't know, Dylan was there. She was like passed out in the grass when they were making their promise, and the
Yeah.
game just kind of like ignores that.
Same. Yeah, same.
Yeah.
It was sort of weird.
Yeah.
But yeah, they basically promised to forget this place. With Cat going in at the same time, that makes way more sense.
that
to me
makes
than
way
Cat
more
just,
sense.
Yeah.
I don't know whatever happened with yours.
Well, and it's crazy
Yeah,
because
Nora pushing for me was just, it felt out of nowhere. I was like, why is Nora pushing?
oh no, that made total
Right
sense for me
here.
because Kat and Nora were in love. They were like they kissed and they were together, and so like Nora defending. Like I stepped in front of Kat to defend her from Corey, and then Nora
yeah.
pushed Corey. Like she was
Same.
she was like "fuck you," and she pushed him. For me, it made total sense because Nora's in love with Kat,
Yeah.
and like, yeah, the dance scene was really cute because
It was
Nora
cool.
and Kat kissed, and then me and Autumn kissed, and I was like, yay!
I liked that scene.
Yeah,
I kissed no one.
What are you, Bloodworth?
Yeah, it didn't feel right. Same, it didn't feel right for me. I don't know. I just didn't feel. It didn't feel natural to kiss anyone in this because there is
a
like
bunch
some
of prudes, man.
people are dying of cancer. Like I don't know. It just felt
so
weird.
she's got to live while she can, you know.
I
Yeah.
think it also like the way I saw Swan, and I know that she's got romance novels under her bed, but there was just something so innocent about Swan
Yeah.
that like I never felt that feeling of like she's.
Her outer innocence belies an inner depravity, I think.
At least
You
that
always
actually
say
ties
that.
into
You always say that.
the thing that I struggled with the most with both episodes is just like when they do their rebellious things, it's not like them just being a little bit rebellious. It's like they're like freaking maniacs.
They go to
Arson.
Around.
Arson.
actual arson.
Like
yeah.
we flipped this switch from like me and Autumn like having these conversations and like kind of getting on like a common ground to like somehow like suddenly like okay, now we're just gonna like trash this place and like wait a minute, where's the scene
For
in
me,
between
actually,
these two?
That's
I don't
interesting.
understand.
That's interesting because for me, Swan and Autumn, like the way I played it, because I was like basically mainline romance Autumn kind of, and like Autumn was standing guard, and so I went to talk to her before we trashed their store, and like kind of the subtext of the conversation, because like we were like, well, somebody's got to keep watch, right? And Autumn was like, yeah. The subtext was kind of like, we don't really want to be doing this, but Kat does, and we're supporting her.
Mm-hmm.
And so like I didn't do anything destructive. We just did tagging. We just did spray paint. We didn't like
I
break
was
anything.
trying my best,
I
but
only
it
did
still
tagging.
counted me as being destructive in the end.
Oh yeah. I mean I had Kat burned the deer thing.
Right. I don't know if there's a way to stop her from doing that. I think that's
You can volunteer to do it yourself.
Oh, right.
But
Okay.
maybe she does it anyway. I don't know.
Oh, yeah. Actually, I think I did it for her because I didn't want her getting into all the smoke and stuff. So that's
I
probably
really
why I got counted.
Yeah,
I really
that
loved
was for
the
sure it.
element of freeing the deer from the barn.
That was fantastic.
Yeah, that was nice.
I got heavy
Purity.
Life is Strange vibes there, Elise. Freeing the
So did-
deer.
So did I. I was like, I
Yeah.
wonder if this is like a little way of.
Nod.
That part was weird to me too because I'm like,
A
this
do
doesn't
nod?
feel like how a hunting ranch works. Bunch of deer and like horse stalls.
It is.
Yeah.
It's a novel because like there are so many things in this game that mirror my growing up, like kind of like eerily close. Because we had a thing called Fonderosa in my town that it was like a quote unquote a refuge, but it was probably just like a money making zoo thing. But like they had deer and some other animals and like petting zoo kind of vibes, but you didn't hunt them. They were just there
That's
to
what I'm
like
saying.
look
It's
at.
like I know, like I know like little reindeer.
We had
farms
reindeer
and
stuff
things
too.
like
Yeah,
that. Yeah,
you could
yeah,
eat
but
the
it's-
reindeer, but
But like having them in like horse stalls and then like having them for hunters and all like it feels like an invented.
it's also not sustainable with that number of deer. There are only like
Exactly.
6 deer.
Like, a
It's
lot
like
of
that's
deer,
2
but-
seasons and you're done. Like
The the chase through the woods was so out of control and over the top.
Yeah.
I was actually really hoping for some Until Dawn style QTEs. Where was that?
Right. Yeah.
I wanted to be like jumping over things and like hiding. and,
Well,
like,
and the other
holding
thing that got
breath.
me, Huber, is just it's a purely technical thing, but I hope somebody like patches and irons it out. Is that like there was like a cadence of like every 7 or 8 seconds where you would hear the motorcycle go vroom vroom vroom.
Yeah. Same
in
sound
relation
clip.
to nothing,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
even when Corey was knocked off the bike,
I kept
that
thinking it was
going.
something outside.
Yeah. Yeah.
I feel like it's a chainsaw, actually.
Yeah,
It's
fully
unrelated.
on
Like,
that
oh,
is.
okay. Yeah. So, it doesn't. It's clearly in a few ways not like the highest budget,
Yeah.
on the planet.
I definitely thought of Life is
right.
Strange 1 being technically rough around the edges when it first came out.
Yeah.
And how it was like, the building blocks for their future.
Yeah.
So I was thinking about like, oh yeah, like if we get another shot at this, like I imagine 2 will just like be so much more, polished and tight.
And maybe I'm over assuming here, but I think we were all in the perspective of the mindset that 1 could have had some more gameplay elements.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And I kind of felt like this second half was going to be that. We led
Yeah.
in immediately with the packing puzzle, and I thought, okay, maybe we're going to get some more here. And so, yeah, I would have loved, like you're saying, QTEs when we're chased, when they introduced the mechanic of Swan rewinding the camera tape.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, here we go. This is our Life is Strange rewind mechanic, but we're just seeing it done with the video camera as opposed to
Wait,
an actual
when was that?
If you botch the break-in to
Oh,
get to
right.
Cat.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I botched that a lot.
And
Okay.
I
Damn.
thought, okay, here we go.
Mine
This is
bugged
what they're
out a little, actually.
introducing this, and then it became like inessential to the remainder of the game. Like I thought we'd get maybe another spatial puzzle like we had in the cabin where we were taking symbols, and so I definitely wanted more of that.
The game,
Elyse, you're so right. Because even the part when you're breaking in, it was like gameplay heavy because you're like distracting Corey and sneaking in, but it was just janky.
yeah.
Like when he's on the deck and you're like sneaking past the grass, the bushes. I was behind a bush and he's like, "What are you doing there?" And I was
Dude.
like, "What?"
That happened to me
Yeah.
too.
For
or
me,
like or Cat distracted him and he was supposed to go inside and he was just
He
standing
stayed
at
by
the
the fire.
I was
Yeah,
like,
that-
"What?"
that happened to me. Also, Corey got stuck to the door. So for me, there was just a door floating around with him as he was as he was going on the thing. So it was just a door on his face.
Yeah.
And he was walking. And then later in the cutscene when he came in and like ripped up the tickets, there was just a door floating around. I was
Wow.
like, what the fuck is happening?
I
Oh,
kept
you
having-
told me you took a screenshot of that.
I kept
Oh,
having like a
should've.
shadow, a person pop up in the
Yes.
foreground.
That's
and
on
Shadow
purpose.
people kept popping up in my
That's on
game, and I'm like,
purpose.
what's happening?
Is that on
that's,
purpose?
That's for sure on purpose. It was
Is
Cat.
it?
It was Cat. It was.
Okay,
It was.
There are
that's
times
what
when
I was
it's
trying
on
to figure
purpose,
out.
but there are other times where I'm like, this doesn't make any sense. It-
I
Same
was-
blood. I'm with you on that.
I
No,
was
I
trying to
think-
figure out, is this like a this is her, this is whatever. I couldn't tell.
I definitely
Same.
think because I remember looking out of the window at the bar in the
Bar.
modern time, and she was standing there
And then it disappears,
and
right?
disappears.
Yeah.
And like there were a lot of other times where it's like if she like wasn't there, but they're talking about her, a little cat would flash for a second, a little shadow. But
There
in the
was a
first part,
raven.
I had a shadow of Corey in the woods, and it just stood there until I got close
Oh.
enough to it. Like it's definitely a thing they were doing.
Did anyone have a raven? They were at the bar sitting in the booth and they turned
Yes.
and there was like a raven
Yes.
on there.
Yeah,
Then-
yeah,
Love
yeah.
that.
That was cool. I was checking
That's
out the
great.
window like all the time because one time there were the three girls, the younger girls, were like out in the parking lot.
Mm.
Mhm.
It like
Um,
more of that would have been great.
Yes, yeah, and
Speaking
telegraph
of
maybe a little bit more
ridiculous
solid.
glitch moments that you reminded me of during the chase while we were going through the woods.
Uh huh.
Cat was stuck in a sitting pose,
Oh
and she was
no.
just
I had that.
sitting, flying through the woods.
She was on a speeder bike from Star Wars Blood. Yeah, I mean it's back to your thing about the gameplay moments, Elyse.
Yeah.
Like the game, thinking back over the whole course of it, it felt very like modular, where it was like we have this style of gameplay for this chapter and then never again, and this style of gameplay for this chapter, and like it gave it this. There was this knock-on effect narratively where it really gave you the feeling of like an episodic feeling within the episodes, where it was like, oh, I have to get through this little thing and then I can do the next thing, and oh, I'll get through that thing and do the next thing. I honestly, I like
But nothing built on anything.
nothing
because
built on
it
anything
never-
else. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I honestly think that this game would have been stronger, if the runtime is 14 hours or whatever it is right now over the 2 episodes. I almost feel like it would be stronger if it was 1 episode at 7 hours. Like, or
I
10.
think you're right. I think
Like,
you're right.
I didn't dislike this game. Like, the subject matter was really heavy, and like that was
And
hard
Swan
for me.
rips. I love
Swan.
to
I
death.
love
Yeah.
Nora. I love all the girls. Like, they're
Yeah.
so their characters are so good.
Mm-hmm.
The way they interact was largely very good. I think Corey was ridiculous.
Super
at least
ridiculous.
the way my gameplay fell out. Like
Same.
it wasn't believable.
Yeah.
And like, yeah, like we talked about, the promise to never see each
Mhm.
other again came out of nowhere for me. But like,
Yeah. And they just could have added so many little mini games like to spice up the gameplay. Like when you help Kat cut her hair.
right.
Make that a little WarioWare style mini game. I thought of Life is Strange too when you're clipping the weed at the weed
Yeah.
farm, the little like mini game
Yeah.
to like how much weed can you clip or whatever in a certain amount of time, and it's just like it's like it's a 2-minute thing,
I think,
but it's
yeah.
still like really shakes it up and
Yeah.
yeah,
Well,
I
like,
think
Yeah,
that
well,
they-
this
for me,
length-
I was holding the mirror for Kat.
Yeah.
But even
Yeah.
that, you could have had something
Position.
a
Well,
little bit.
And to what you're saying, Huber, like it gives you the option of what kind of cut you want to give Kat, but the
Yeah.
mini game could have determined like whether you succeed or fail or how
Totally.
you do. That could have been like this determines the kind of cut that you end up giving
Yeah.
her if
It-
you hit
I-
these QT.
It feels
think-
like at this length, it needed more of that kind of stuff. With
Yeah.
with the amount of gameplay that's in it, it needed to be shorter.
Yeah. Because even in part 2, the camcorder gimmick already was
It
a little
faded.
less impactful.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
Because
think
that was
that's-
super fun in part 1.
Yeah.
And I think it was just stretched too thin.
Yeah.
And I kept waiting for it
there
to
was the interesting
manifest.
thing with Autumn when she's packing up, where you're trying to like identify what like what's her magazine, her
Yeah, yeah.
toothbrush,
Did
and all
you
that
get it,
stuff.
Blood?
I got the magazine. I got the wrong toothbrush. That's the part I missed.
I nailed her
I-
toothbrush, and I got her. Well, I knew which zine was hers. I don't know if my game glitched or what, because I got the zine which was clearly hers first, and I went up to her, but it didn't give me an option to give it to her, so I had to
Oh.
pick up
Oh, well,
another.
there's the zine, and then there was a magazine. So
Yeah.
they're kind of.
Oh, I
They
got
had
both.
both.
Okay, yeah, I think I got a skateboarding magazine, which was Nora's apparently, but I. got
Oh,
her-
Right.
Also, what the fuck, Corey? Dude, he's lighting the goddamn house on fire too?
Yeah,
That was
he's
Oh, right.
insane.
absurd. That was absurd.
It's absurd. He's
He's
an
a-
attempted murderer.
Protected woodland areas.
Like
Yeah. Yes.
full forest fire
Oh.
imminently, dude.
Apparently,
what-
there's an option though where
and
he doesn't
death.
even get in the cabin, which I
He
thought
didn't get
was-
in
get in the
mine. He
cabin
just
for me.
set it on fire.
He set it on fire.
Oh.
We locked all the doors, so he never got in. So I never had the opportunity. Apparently, you can stab him, but he never got in. He just started on a fire.
Dude,
I'm like-
next time I play, I'm stabbing him in the gut.
Yeah,
He makes me so upset because he has no leverage to be such a jerk. and
Right,
such a
right.
menace. Like
Perfect, Elyse.
he works for Dylan's father.
Right.
Like, so if anything,
he would be
should
on
feel-
best behavior.
Yes. And Dylan, like, feeling so beholden to him, like being, I mean, I understand like getting caught into
Abuse dynamics. Yeah,
those dynamic and then it is hard to get out. But I'm like, where are these parents?
right.
Because they're shitty parents.
They're shitty
And,
parents. Like, are they on vacation while their daughter's dying, and this abusive boyfriend is running roughshod over their whole family? Like,
Mhm.
I don't
Yeah, I think-
get it. It doesn't make
Yeah,
sense.
I think that's the thing is we just don't have a good idea of like
Yeah.
what their story is.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
And-
even if they are like out of town for some reason during all
And-
of this, and he's supposed to be taking care of her.
Just because your daughter gets sick doesn't mean you're good parents,
No,
I guess. You can still be bad parents and have a terminally ill kid.
in fact, I
Yeah.
think a lot of people don't deal with it well and probably
Yeah.
become worse parents. But like, yeah, the thing with and like also because the story set up for Corey was like, it sounded like Dylan's parents didn't like him at all, and he had to like win them over to get the job. You know,
But it's also weird because it sounded like they were treating him like their minion of like, go get our daughter.
right.
And I don't, it was,
Oh
it was
yeah, I
weird.
forgot about
It was
that,
weird.
Elise.
The
Yeah,
whole
what in
vibe
the world?
with that is, and like even in the '90s, like yeah, sure, things were a little more lax, and like growing up in this exact time period, like parents would just be like, "Hey, come home at
Mhm.
9 or whatever." But like, I think if you are the parent of 2 daughters, and one of them is sick, and this guy works for you and is banging one of your kids, like, I don't know. Do you trust him to like go and get your sick daughter all the time, like on his motorcycle? Like, it just, I don't buy it, dude. I don't know.
Well, so I feel like we've spent so much time on him. He ain't getting any better. But
No, he's not.
I really
I-
liked. Oh, sorry, Blake. Go ahead.
Oh, no, I was just because we were talking about that scene, I was trying to figure out like what happened. It was Autumn that opened the door for Corey and Maya.
Oh, right, because she kind of like
She actually tipped him off about
tipped him off.
yeah.
What? Not for me.
fuck? Autumn,
In mine
what?
she did.
No, what? That's crazy.
Yeah.
Turncoat.
Yeah, because
We
then
were
he takes
all
her
hardline
mask or
against
whatever.
him. That's crazy. No way.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the mask
and
just
felt
fell
like
in mine.
that kind of came out of nowhere. I wasn't really sure.
Yeah,
what
I think she
happened
was
there.
just uncomfortable with the whole thing, and so
Mhm.
but it,
That
you
did
know,
not happen for me.
but Corey obviously got out of hand even more.
Every
so.
single time I had the option to say everything will be fine if we stay together, I chose that.
Oh yeah.
We
I
gotta
really
stick together, everyone.
I like the scene with Nora where she's back from LA and she's brought us little gifts. And we're
Yes.
just kind of having a
Oh,
heart to heart.
sweet.
I took a hit of that joint. I was like,
Same.
you know,
Oh, sure.
Swan's already
Multiple.
she's broke bad at that point.
She broke
Yeah.
bad.
Okay,
Like
she
as
broke
soon as
bad.
she started drinking, I was like, this girl is just trying stuff.
She's drinking,
Yeah.
she's spray painting, she's committing arson. I was like, she's gonna smoke this
yeah.
joint.
Yeah. It's the least of her problems at this
Yeah.
juncture. That scene was interesting because I got the impression that like, or I mean, there was a direct option to go romantic with Nora as well for me, and I was like, no, that's not like
Yeah,
adult
it's-
Nora, hell yeah, but not.
But Nora and Kat have their
Yeah, Nora and Kat
thing,
are
and I was
totally a
like-
thing. And like and then because I didn't do that with Nora, like she talked about wanting to tell Kat she loves her. And like not knowing if Kat does too. Which I thought was really cute. Like I think that the way the queer stuff was handled was really nice in this, like especially for the 90s, like where, you know, just coming out and saying that you were gay was like even bigger of a thing than it is. Well, you know, 2025, it's a big thing again. But like, I appreciated that like Nora was like more out there with it, and like the other characters were like kind of like sussing it out, you know.
And they didn't shy away from it. I know we keep
No.
talking about Corey again, but like the language he
Oh my
used
God, yeah,
was
he
so
He was
like
throwing
jaw
out the D word
dropping.
left and
Yeah.
right.
It's like
yeah.
whoa! Like every time I was like whoa, like it's like shocking. It's like geez.
It is, yeah.
Mhm.
It's effective language for sure.
He was about to tie someone to a railroad track. That's how like cartoonishly
Fucking
he
Looney
clearly-
Tunes
Yeah.
over here.
Yeah, it was nuts. But yeah, I
Uh,
did actually like that that the game didn't shy away from that, like because especially in the 90s, like that kind of language would have been used, especially by someone like Corey. Like he would have been calling them, you know,
Mhm.
the D word and
And
commenting
worse,
on their
yeah.
obesity or whatever. Like he would have definitely gone there. Yeah.
Yeah. Did you notice the box in Kat's room?
I was fiddling around with a lot of things in her
Yeah.
room.
Oh, the box
It was
she sent you?
Yeah.
It was
Oh, cool.
it was oh yeah.
Because
Yeah,
it would
yeah.
have been she put it together that day.
Yeah.
That's
So
cool. I
it's-
didn't see it.
Yeah.
It was frustrating. There was like
actually
a
in the room.
little there was a little game there that was broken, and then I found the batteries, but it wouldn't let me like fix the game. But that was a choice at the
There was
end.
a thing at the
of-
end to repair it. Yeah.
So I was
Yeah,
like, what the hell?
I've totally missed what I was about to.
I
Yeah,
found both
same.
pieces of it, and I was like, why can I not do this?
Maybe there's a
Whatever.
third piece. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe, yeah.
Weird.
But her room was cool. I like snooping around.
The room had
Um,
like half of the terrible toys list.
it's her- yeah, and I thought one of the cool storytelling things was like the Raven. She had like the Raven
Yeah.
medallion there.
Yeah.
And then I just kept thinking, because we keep seeing the Raven with the purple eyes, it's like, is Kat like putting her spirit into the Raven
Right.
to come into the
It
real
definitely
world?
feels like that. Yeah.
Like, but that yeah, because that's what I was thinking too. Because the Raven was there, like right when you get out of the car in the very beginning of the game, off the phone with your mom. Like the purple-eyed Raven is there, and like Kat picks the Raven and all the Ravens and blah blah blah. And
Yeah.
like, yeah, I was like, okay, so Kat hath become the wilderness, and like the ravens are her eyes, like Odin, you know. And I think that is the case, but like nothing really came of it. Like
Yeah.
I was hoping that like, you know, she would protect you or something, or like that it would amount to something, but I don't know.
She's in the oldest house. We got to rescue her.
right. It's such an interesting case, this game. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Elyse.
Just the reveal of the contents of the box. I don't think it was anything surprising. If anything, maybe a little
Yeah.
expected by that point of like,
Yeah.
oh, it's not going to be the big dangerous thing they think it is.
Yeah.
But you kind of wanted it to be a dangerous thing.
Yeah,
Especially
like a
with
severed
Nora
hand
leaving.
or something.
Especially with Nora having left. I was like,
Right.
it made me kind of like, there were a few times where I was like, call Nora. Like just be like, hey, we opened the box. It's a bunch of keepsakes from Kat. It's actually really sweet. Like, come back. Like, if you want, you know, like
Mhm.
there are a lot of moments in games like this. I mean, this is just kind of like the genre, but like so many times there's just like, if you just had an actual conversation about this,
Yeah.
it would be fine.
Yeah.
Like,
Did anyone get the good ending where like they stay and then you perform at the bar?
no, I was hoping the whole
No.
time that you could play at that bar.
Damn.
Do you need
Perform
everyone
at the
for that?
bar?
Yeah, I guess like because I looked it up because I was like, this is egregious.
Oh, if Nora stays?
If Nora
I guess
stays,
yeah,
you-
if like Nora and Autumn stay.
that makes sense to me because it felt like it was
Rude.
building to that.
Fuck.
Damn.
We
What
blew it.
what happened for me is that she went to like a park bench outside of the movie palace,
Yeah.
and yeah, she and Autumn were sitting
Same.
on the
Yeah.
Same.
the top of the
Must
bench,
be nice.
and then a ghost of past Nora was singing the song.
Yeah, that's what
Oh.
happened for me. It was actually kind of nice, and the version of the song was really good.
That was a good version. I was
The
like, that
acoustic,
is
yeah.
good. That is
For me, it
good.
was Ghost Nora playing the guitar,
Yeah.
present day Swan and Autumn, and then Ghost Cat was sitting there
Yeah.
with them.
I feel like I was one stupid little choice away from keeping Nora around.
I feel like that
and it
too. I
was-
almost
yeah.
replayed it, but
Yeah, it was about the past, and I said, "Don't bury the past; it won't make it any better." And then Nora was mad because she was like, "I just don't want to think about it. Like that's how you process
Yeah.
your history and grief and trauma, not me. Like I just don't want to think about it."
yeah.
Fuck.
The I don't know if anyone else could see it, but the magic eye changed each time. A little magic eye puzzle.
I was
Oh,
just staring at
never
I
worked
didn't
for
notice
me.
that.
gibberish. Yeah, it never worked for me.
So
but
the first in tape 1, it was just a deer,
hmm
and then in her room in tape 2, it was the abyss, which is like a circle,
Oh.
like a crater, and then the one that you get in the box is a moth.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Ooh,
That's neat.
Moth Girl.
Yeah, it didn't work.
We need
for me.
a Moth Girl beat 'em up. Let's go.
Yeah, dude,
I would take a
Moth
Moth
Girl
Girl Furby.
Metroidvania.
Yeah, the thing that I sometimes have to do for the magic eye thing is I have to like get up close to the TV and then back off.
Yeah. Oh, I was crossing and uncrossing my eyes, but it didn't. I think the angle was weird because it wasn't like on my screen fully. It was, I don't know, it was being weird.
Yeah, because you can actually like adjust the angle and stuff too.
Yeah. Oh, Elyse, can you get me an Angel City Tamagotchi? Are they still selling those?
I think you can buy them online too, but I mean, I could get you one. I
Yeah,
also
I'll
think-
Venmo you.
They're doing business. Saw it here, a little behind the scenes look. She needs a Tamagotchi. She needs it to be this brand of
I
Tamagotchi.
need my lesbian soccer Tamagotchi.
Uh,
Football. Sorry, Sophia. Yeah. I don't know. All in all, I think like there was a lot of stuff I totally cherished about this and really loved. But all in all, it didn't quite stick the landing for me. It didn't quite live up to my hype on
Yeah.
it. Not to say it was bad at all, but there were just some things that I think could have been kind of polished, maybe.
Yeah, it didn't reach the heights that it was striving for,
Yeah.
in my mind. You know, like it wants me to feel more than I am. I didn't reach that
Yeah.
level.
Yeah.
But I still enjoyed it overall, and I would like more. And at the end of the day, Swan 10 out of 10 obsessed.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I loved her.
Yeah.
The characters were
Yeah.
all great besides Corey.
Yeah,
All amazing,
Four
but, like,
girls were
they're
fantastic.
All
Yeah.
four
A
of them
plus.
were
A
incredible.
plus.
Even Dylan,
Swan
you're
and
like,
Autumn, though, a
Even
little cut
Dylan,
above
yeah.
the
yeah,
rest.
you want to shake Dylan and be like, you're worth so much more.
Yeah, yeah. They very convincingly portrayed her as being a woman with an abusive partner.
Mhm.
Like I bought her.
Yeah.
I just didn't see, and like not that abusers need or have reasons half the time,
No.
but like
Yeah.
and even in real life, like the behavior is not like understandable. Like
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
and so like, you know, in that regard, I guess it is kind of accurate, but like it's just it's unbelievable that there were no structures that made it harder for him to behave that way. Like no parents, no yeah.
Yeah. I know what you mean.
Yeah.
It's complicated.
Yeah, I guess for me, it's weird because like I don't want the abyss to be over-explained, but it just also kind of feels like
Mhm.
it's just sort of there.
Yeah.
Um, and like even at the end, I'm like, is this a sequel setup? But if we
Yeah.
did a sequel, like what the heck would that sequel even be
Yeah.
at this point? Like I don't know that I would want like I don't know how a sequel would make sense that I would want it because it would have to go forward with the adults
Yeah.
because they've been gone for the whole time. Like it's strange.
I also think playing part one, you're wrestling with the notion of, is the abyss a metaphor?
Right. Right.
Versus, oh, this is an actual weird portal in the middle of the woods that a guy can fall
Totally.
into, and then our friend gets on it,
So
and we go
right.
into.
Well, it
And
feels
so-
like they flirted with having like a history to like they had those letters in the like in the
Yeah,
cabin and like
they
that kind
absolutely
of
do.
stuff. And like
Even Pam.
yeah, and
Yeah.
it felt like there was like hints at an outside world. And I think like that is actually the sign of a great storytelling in a well-built world, to have things outside the scope of your current story. But yes, at the same time, like the things that are involved in our story do need kind of at least a little bit more maybe fleshing out. Also, yeah, we never saw how the arm antler thing got broken off the water tower. It's
Oh,
just
yeah.
age, I guess.
yeah.
Like,
Oh yeah, I think that's probably all that is.
yeah. I was expecting
it's
our
like,
girls to like blow the city
why-
up or something.
Yeah, it's like why would Swan walk into the abyss at the end? Right? It's like
To save Cat. Because she was like
she's not
being
saving Cat. Like the abyss basically saved Cat, otherwise
Yeah.
Cat would have just died.
Yeah, it's nebulous because it's like Kat doesn't necessarily seem like she's in need of saving because she's transcended the metaphysical. Like
Mhm.
that's the goal. That's dreams right there. But yeah.
I did appreciate that in kind of one way or another, or inadvertently, all the girls seem to get the adulthood that they had been
yeah.
striving for. Maybe not in the way they imagined, but in a different version or close to, or it seemed to fulfill the things they were trying to connect with, But then I did wish that we got like an update on Dylan.
Yeah.
What's Dylan doing now? That was kind of the one thing, because her, I think more than anyone too, you're like, oh man, did Dylan overcome this really, really shitty guy and now she's living her happy ending? I would have liked that.
That would have been nice. Or she could have come into the bar
Yeah.
and you could have mistaken her for Kat for a second or something and then been like, oh, Dylan? Oh, Dylan.
Yeah.
Hey.
That would
Like,
That would have
cool.
been nice. Yeah.
three of us have the same chair, I just realized. Yeah, I don't know. Pretty cool.
Percentages? Do you want to go over a few?
Oh yeah,
Oh,
let me
yeah.
pull that up.
Actually,
I've got
I
it.
remembered to take pictures this time.
Nice.
So I have mine. I'm ready on it. If
Cool. Some of them are small, so we'll just rapid fire some of these. Like, tried to call all the friends. That's what I did.
Called them.
Oh,
Tried
Hey, I
calling
st-
everyone.
I started with
didn't.
the relationships.
Yeah, I have the
Oh,
relationships.
yeah. Okay.
I was
Yeah.
new friend with both Nora and Kat, and first love with Autumn in the past.
Yeah,
And,
with me, I was at something more with Autumn. That's the highest I got on any of those.
Mm.
I had something more there. Crush, Cat, BFFs, Nora.
Okay.
New friend. We're cool. New friend.
Wow,
I did not. I
God.
felt like
Wow.
I was.
Wow.
I didn't know who these girls were. I couldn't find the magazine.
And then I reacquainted with Nora and reconnected with Autumn.
I had former friends with Nora and
same.
reconnected with Autumn.
Yeah, reacquainted and reconnected.
Former friends with both. Sometimes you just can't go back to the past.
Wow.
God,
Wow.
I missed it.
Yeah, I did not call any friends. I returned Pam's book. I interviewed
Same.
Dylan, and Dylan kissed Corey.
Same.
Yeah, same.
All the same for
Oh,
me.
no, yeah. So mine, I called at least one friend, but I know I called two. So I think I just, after two, I was like, okay, I'm getting yelled at. I didn't keep calling people. But that was split like three ways. That was like 33, 33, and 35.
Oh, I don't have
when
stats
I-
on these parts.
When I had, yeah, you had to turn the stats on. I had to retake them afterwards. Um, I didn't get Pam's book. 75% of people did find the book.
Mm,
I did interview Dylan. That was 91%. And 70% got Dylan to refuse Corey's kiss.
oh, wow.
So
On page. Oh, wait. What did you have, Huber? Or you were the same as mine?
Same.
On page 2, I helped Autumn recover from her panic attack.
Same.
yeah, that was 48%. So like pretty even split there.
Oh, okay. I convinced Autumn to stick with Kat.
Same.
Nora gave me the bracelet and a pin from LA,
Same. Loved that.
and I smoked the joint with Nora.
Same. Yep.
Yeah, mine were different on those last three. So I sided with Autumn to protect Cat, which was only 9%.
Oh.
Most people, 51%, were alone at the abyss.
Oh, weird.
And then I only got the pin from LA. That was only 4%. So I don't know what I did to
She didn't make you a
Oh.
friendshot bracelet? Jeez,
No.
blood. No
That's
kiss
vile.
blood, dude.
And then yeah, I refused to smoke the joint as I would.
As you. I haven't tried grass in real life, but Swan, she's a ruthless pothead.
Keep calling it grass, and I'm sure you will soon.
What?
I said, keep calling it grass,
Oh,
and I'm
yeah.
sure you will soon.
I do that because it's intentionally archaic.
Yeah, it's funny.
This one was funny. It was you and Nora remembered how you snuck past Corey, but I literally failed that like 6 times and it kept rewinding.
Oh yeah, but if you do it at the end, I guess at some point if you fuck it up enough, they just give up.
Yeah, I think so.
I was
But
probably
it was
like 1 away.
88% got it. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Nora left the reunion for me.
60% left. That is
Wow.
crazy. That is the majority.
Yep.
Hard to keep her around.
I did not repair the Polly Pocket, even though I was
Same.
thrilled to see it.
Same.
Yeah.
I found it and the batteries. What
I
the
had
hell?
those as a kid. I fucking love those things. And I helped Kat cut her own hair.
Same.
Yep. Same with me. That was a little more than half, 54 on helping.
Page 4. I stayed with Kat and my camcorder was broken.
I escaped.
Through the window.
I- I escaped through Kat's window. Dylan stood up for her sister.
So
Wow.
lucky.
Second one,
Lucky
yeah.
Bloodworth.
Blood is
Bloodworth
the
making
chosen
the right
one,
choices.
dude.
Yeah.
Loveless though. Nora kept Kat's gift. I told her not to
Mhm.
throw it away.
Mm-hmm.
I did not kiss Nora during the media shower.
Nope.
Same.
Nope.
And Autumn joined me and Nora.
Yeah.
No,
yeah.
not for me.
What the
Not for me.
fuck?
That one was half and half. That was people were pretty
Elise
close
had
on that one.
fractured bonds.
Yeah.
God,
Yeah.
It was nice that Autumn showed up. It was nice.
I couldn't read any signals.
Page 4.
We're page 5 now.
Oh, I took 2 pictures of that for some reason. Page 5. I was mostly non-violent when vandalizing
Same.
Mickelson's gift
Same.
shop.
Mostly
I think
violent.
it's more creative, like with cool taggings rather than just
Yeah.
smashing a window.
Mhm.
Well, no, it felt more true to Swan that she'd be like, okay, I'm going to help out Kat, but I'm not going to actually,
No,
like-
she's not gonna smash.
Right.
yeah. I'm not going to break a truck or like break
I
windows.
didn't smash, and I didn't smash.
Yeah.
Yeah, half and half
Oh.
with
That was my gameplay.
half and half with burning the deer.
I let Kat burn the deer.
Same.
I burned
Slightly
it
more.
'cause I kept taking the fall.
Yeah, slightly more of us burned it ourselves. But again, it was because like we didn't want her to be coughing up all that smoke and stuff.
I danced with Autumn and I kissed Autumn.
Ah, I danced
danced-
alone and didn't kiss anyone.
Same.
Same.
What the hell, guys?
I know. It just didn't feel. It just. I
I'm
just
dancing
Well, we
didn't-
were all
around,
dancing
dancing
together, so I think
around.
that's a weird description, but okay.
I just.
What about a
I just felt-
sexually charged embrace?
Yeah. I would have, like, if there was another chapter in the present day with Swan and Autumn, that's when I would go for the kiss or something. But it just
Sure.
like
I was
it
kinda
never,
hoping
it
you
just
could do
never
that,
felt.
actually.
Yeah.
I was like, let's seal the deal, baby. Let's get back together. You're single, I'm single.
Yeah.
I'll raise your kid with you. Page 6, Kat and Nora kissed for me.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. That was only
Kiss for
30%.
me.
That was
Damn
only
it.
30% though.
Only 30. Wow.
Yeah.
I'm the kiss whisperer, I guess.
Yeah.
Corey did not enter the hideout for me.
Same.
Autumn betrayed. Let
Yeah.
Corey
Who,
into the hideout.
That
who are
is
the
insane.
4%? Who are the 4% maniacs that let Corey enter the hideout? Holy crap!
Blood.
Probably the devs.
No,
They're just like,
Autumn let
They're-
him in.
This Autumn betraying is so
Wild.
weird to me. That's
wild.
so not in her character for me.
I think it goes back to her being like, I think that when you kind of support her nervousness about the blood ritual and all of that, I think it's all tied in.
I did that too though, and she didn't turn into some kind of narc. Goody two shoes for me.
Hmm.
You didn't have the opportunity to stab Corey.
Same.
Oh,
Crazy.
I
I wonder
stabbed
why
him.
that happens.
Wait, you really stabbed
'Cause
him?
the-
Yeah.
You stabbed him?
Daniel
You s-
Day-Lewis, Gangs of New York.
Because Kat's knife is right there on the post.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
stabbed him.
You
I the hell out of
stabbed him? What happened?
Me and 37% of other people.
What
stabbed him.
happened?
It's just kind of like you stab him in the
Oh, if he gets
Back,
in, then
shoulder
yeah,
blade.
he starts.
And then we
like,
run out.
grabbing Cat or something like that.
So it's like you stab him in the shoulder and you run.
We
Yeah,
ran outside and then he followed.
but I did
Is
not.
the-
stab.
is the-
I was
is
try-
the
I tried to do
knife-
something else. I'm trying to remember what I did, but
Is the
Stab
knife still in his
him.
shoulder when he's running after you, Elise?
I don't remember if he takes.
well, I mean
it out
that's
or not.
after the main chase, so that's like
It's
the only
after
thing
the
after that
chase,
is
yeah.
the abyss. Yeah,
And it's
Crazy.
Chekhov's knife, right? Like we see it.
Yeah,
we keep seeing
you
it
see
in
the
the
knife,
beam in the
yeah.
hideout.
Yeah.
yeah.
Somebody gotta
Games
get
like this
stabbed
are
with
so
it.
weird because you have to set stuff up that might not pay off.
Yeah.
Autumn burned her arm while helping the others for me.
Same.
Oh,
Autumn was
That-
unharmed in mine despite her betrayal.
That was
Yeah.
interesting because then after that scene in the current timeline, she like shows her arm as an adult and it's like scarred.
Yeah.
oh yeah.
Uh,
Corey was like smothering her basically.
Psychotic, dude.
Jesus fucking Christ.
Psychotic.
For me, page 7, Corey was driven mad
I
by
asked-
the
oh.
abyss.
Sorry. I had asked Dylan to stop him. That's the
Got
option
it.
that I had.
Oh, okay.
That's good.
Other than
Uh,
grabbing the knife.
Corey was driven mad by the abyss for me.
Same.
Oh
Cat-
wow.
Cat being possessed by the abyss is different.
That's
Yeah,
what
that
I
was
had.
that was what I got.
Really?
That was
So that's-
69% too.
How's that play out? That makes sense to me.
Yeah, I mean she's just
Uh,
it's just like a visual thing,
enraged,
really.
right?
Yeah.
Oh,
It-
okay.
You just
That I-
see the abyss eyes.
Yeah.
The fact that you both had that Elise and Blood bothers me even more now that even if the abyss doesn't freak him out, he's still like psycho, you know?
He's
I
psycho before all that.
Yeah,
Like
but
the
even
abyss
in-
freaks him out at the end and just makes it worse, but like he's already unacceptably crazy.
Well, because in part one, when they're fighting, his eyes were glowing, right? Like
No,
a little
the
bit
girls
of
did, I
rage.
think.
Okay.
Hers
He-
no,
He's
his
got
never
an
did.
abyss eyes in there too sometimes though.
Yeah, so I was like, is it just the
Not for me.
abyss that's doing this? But I mean, the fact that you both didn't have that and he's still crazy was it's kind of annoying. I don't know.
Yeah.
That kind of annoys me.
The Corey character could have been developed better, I think. Yeah. Kat offered herself to the abyss for me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, mine I got the violently
Same.
claimed as we talked about.
Violently claimed. It's so intense.
Page 8, which has like 1,000 options.
Yeah.
Nora pushed Corey into the abyss for me.
Same. 7%. Same.
7%. Wow.
Oh, the
Really
four of
wanted to-
us pushed Corey.
Well,
in.
mine
Dude,
Corey
you got big
dragged
little
Cat
eyes.
to
I'm
the
so
abyss,
jealous.
which was
We all
20%.
Wait, Elise, you had all 4 of them team up and do it?
Yeah, we all looked
Dude,
crazed.
I'm so jealous.
Oh, but
It was fun.
none of us got the Abyss pulled Corey in harmony with the girls.
No, that was only 5%. That was one of the lowest. That was 5. The lowest was 4, and
Oh.
it was you, Kat, and Nora
Weird.
pushed Corey into the abyss 4%.
I really wonder what leads to these because there's so
Yeah.
many different options.
Yeah.
The most number 1 was 21%, and it was Corey dragged Kat into the abyss as he fell.
Yeah, that was
Wow.
mine.
Yeah.
Wow.
And it's got a picture of him like holding her by the wrist and by the elbow.
That is so
mine's a
menacing.
picture of Nora pushing him. That's crazy.
Yeah, that's a good one. Jeez, so intense.
Page 9, I raised Buzzy to be rogue? I don't know.
I raised Buzzy to be fun. I don't know. I would do all 3 of them anytime I saw it.
Same.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't feel like I did much. but
Yeah,
just-
I
I
engaged
fed
with
him
like,
and I cleaned up after him.
I engaged with it like 2 or 3 times in the first part and never again. I did not help Pam and Gus start a romance.
Same.
I
I did.
I helped. 45% helped, so it's pretty
Okay.
split.
Yeah, and I think that maybe that's because people thought he was creeping her out.
Yeah, I thought yeah.
I
Trust-
don't know. Like
trust no
for me,
man.
like every time I'd walk by, they were like having a good
Oh, they
time.
were definitely
Yeah.
they were definitely vibing.
Yeah, the final
Um,
stat was overwhelming.
Well, yeah, what's the final? I had Nora left the reunion, but I don't have the stats
Same.
turned on.
Well, I had 42% of people were alone at the end of the evening, which is the highest
Wow.
percentage.
Wow.
So most people got the least satisfying ending.
Yeah. Yeah, you have to earn it. This is the least amount of people got everyone there.
Yeah, the least was 15%. You all stuck by each other. Wanted that
Fuck,
one.
dude.
Damn.
How many percent Nora left?
Nora
16.
left 16%, Autumn left 25, and then since you played Elyse, it's gone up a little bit. 44% were alone at the end of the evening.
Autumn left being higher is interesting.
That is weird. She seems easier to keep.
Yeah.
Huh.
Mm.
Well,
I know, I was so bummed Nora left. I was so
yeah. I honestly felt like I botched my game. I was
Yeah.
like, yeah.
But also, I really liked it too. It was to me, it was some of the most effective storytelling of part 2. Was her just like wanting to be alone, going outside for a smoke, not dealing with it, and then just fucking leaving. Like, I've met people that just can't handle their shit and don't want to deal with shit and just go off the grid and leave and like don't lose contact. Like,
Yeah.
for sure, that one was good.
yeah.
I didn't like it.
It's a
I thought
bummer.
it was
Yeah.
good. Yeah, it was a
I-
bummer. It
I'd
bummed me
buy
the
it,
hell
but
out.
it's-
But
yeah.
yeah. There it is.
Yeah. How do we want to land the plane here? I think all in all, like we said, a little rough around the edges. I enjoyed my time with it, but yeah, swimming in 7s maybe for
For
me.
sure. Same. Yeah, same. I agree. Same.
Melancholic nostalgia at its
Yeah.
finest. But I do think that some of the technical maybe limitations or disconnects were things that prevented some of those conceptual cool idea or some of the conceptually cool ideas from truly being as meaningful as they could have been. Like I
Yeah.
talked a lot about gameplay, and like there were definitely ways to incorporate gameplay more strongly into this game.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I think. Like really, really strong characters. Really love like their visual design, everything
Yeah.
like that. And
Yeah.
and the spaces that Don't Nod is always so good at creating.
Spaces.
Yeah.
But yeah, there were just some of those things that just felt like they just come out of nowhere and don't have a lot of justification.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you, I don't know if I had even gotten the good ending, if I would have come out of this game feeling happy.
Yeah.
Because I do think Swan would have been a nice reunion ending on a better note. But I think Swan would have gone back to her life. They would have all gone kind of back to
Yeah.
their lives. And
Well, I mean, I think she goes into the abyss no matter what.
she goes
on
into the
her
abyss.
own.
Yeah, you're
Yeah.
right.
That,
I think
that's,
that
that's the weird thing. That post-credit
Yeah.
scene doesn't seem to be that like that seems to be
Unimpacted by
canon
anything.
Yeah.
from what I can tell because it's not part of the choices.
hmm
So it's like what? Yeah.
I mean,
What is
it
that?
feels like they're setting up for a sequel that I assume won't happen. I mean, it'd be cool if it does. I don't know how
Yeah.
this
I think
game
it could.
performed, but
I think it could.
okay, yeah.
Or DLC even.
Maybe a part
DLC,
3.
yeah, part 3, like a surprise part 3 would be interesting, where it's all modern day, and like Cat and Swan are like in this metaphysical, like,
Yeah.
maybe like if you're still playing as Swan, I could see it like time is fractured and you can like see different parts of time or something.
Yeah.
Like,
Here's a question too. It's Lost Records, Rage or Bloom and Rage.
Right.
Rage do we think that Lost Records is going to become like a
I
series
think
header?
so. I think
That
they
seems
wanted
like-
it to.
that
for
seems
sure.
like what they were kind of aiming for.
Yeah. I will say we're in such a different place than we were when Life is Strange 1 came out, and even The Walking Dead to an extent, where I think it's more important now than ever, because we've been playing a lot of these, that the story and the gameplay,
Yeah.
like we have higher expectations for both of those things now. Whereas the early Life is Strange days, like they were just they felt so unique, and we put up with the technical stuff or maybe even a little bit of lack of gameplay because we just loved the world and the characters so much. It felt so fresh and special. But now, because we don't really have that, innovation, if you will,
Yeah.
some other things are just like held to a higher standard. So it'll be interesting to see how, Don't Nod.
And it's
keeps going
interesting,
forward.
yeah, because it's like it has become like a subgenre. This kind of like, they're not visual novels; they're interactive like stories, and it it's the evolution of the early like Walking Dead style like stuff. But like then on the other side of the spectrum, you have Dark Pictures, where it's like 8 hours long, whiz bang, mostly like crazy QTEs and like flashy like sudden.
Those are
know.
so fun to play.
They're really fun to play, and then you have this,
Yes.
which is like a slow burn meditation on girlhood and like
Yeah.
disappointment, and it's just such an interesting take. But it's like I do really think that this game could kind of take from the
I
Dark
agree.
Pictures angle of things a
100%.
little more. Like
100%. Make it just a little more fun to play,
Yeah,
for
like-
sure.
I want it,
want
like
more-
it can be heavy, but I want to enjoy playing it.
Yeah.
Like,
I want more Don't Nod games like this.
yes.
Because I think they do that emotional storytelling better than anybody out there.
Yeah.
But yeah, like a little bit more.
Yeah.
Yeah, a little bit more
I'm not
agency.
sure if it's necessarily the gameplay thing that it's missing to me as so much as like with with Life is Strange, like those big decisions we made felt like big
Right.
decisions.
Right.
Whereas with this, it's like it feels like every decision we made just sort of like created shades of the
Yeah.
ending, but it didn't really matter in a way.
Which I think
Um,
because this one is longer, maybe because yeah, you're right.
I
Like
mean,
none of
Life
the,
is Strange is about this long or longer, I think.
yeah, maybe it was longer because it had more episodes. But like, yeah, none of the decisions felt like, besides Nora leaving, like none of them felt like huge, like changed the whole game huge.
To that I
What?
might say that whatever decisions you make are for naught because we will all walk into the abyss.
Yeah, yeah, it's true. Maybe that's the point.
Fire walk with me on Nora's lighter.
That I loved that. I was
Yeah,
like, hell
you're
yeah,
great.
Nora. Dude, Nora's whole vibe where it was just like she's like making mixtapes with 9 Inch Nails and shit on it, and like Fire Walk with Me, Twin Peaks shit on her lighter and stuff. I'm like, okay, hell yeah, this is my kind of chick.
Also, Swan's movie reviews, there was one, Gus Van Sant, never saw it, with Nicole Kidman, To Die For.
To die for.
To Die For. I've
Oh
never
my
seen it. I was
God.
like, I gotta watch
seen
it.
that one either.
I haven't seen it in 25 years or
Maybe I
whatever.
saw it and I
Yeah.
forgot. Yeah.
I'm watching it.
It's you gotta watch it. Now it makes me want to watch it. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess with games like this, I prefer when the choices are huge and crazy, and like, yeah, maybe if that means the game has to be shorter, or like, because I think like putting a bunch of mini games can make it feel bloated too. Like, I don't think you necessarily like when I say more gameplay, I don't mean stuff like just like the box or cutting hair or whatever, because like that to me I think would just slow it down even more in a pretty slow paced game already. But like just interactable stuff or just narrative choices, like having more choices per moment, even
Yeah.
if even if the whole thing had to be shorter to make the ripples more important. Like
Mhm.
I would have taken that over, less impactful,
Yeah.
longer story.
The camera mechanics were pretty neat.
I loved
too.
the camera. Yeah.
Yeah, like when you like actually see it all replay out at the end, like, and it's all your shots that you
Yeah.
took.
That was.
Yeah.
I was curious.
Really cool.
And See You in Hell is a bop.
See you in
Yes.
hell, yeah, especially sung by the adults, because like the kid
Oh.
version, I was like, this sounds like a bunch of 14-year-olds or whatever making a fucking song. But
Yeah, that
The-
was cool.
I was actually thinking about the gameplay, like the engine or whatever. I'm like, how did it choose what shots to put in this music video? Because they had to program that, and like
Yeah.
you had to have. So it's like, okay, the stuff that was required by the game has to be the bare minimum to fill out that music video, which means that they're like selecting certain kinds of things. Like I'm really interested in the programming on that, like how.
Yeah, well, I
because
mean,
it's like an automated video editor.
It was
yeah,
so
I
cool.
think it has to do with like the collections that
Yeah,
you were filming. Like
yeah.
there's essentially like tags.
You're tagging them, yeah.
And yeah, basically like here's an autumn tag, here's a cat tag, and that kind of thing.
Yeah, I'm sure that's how it worked. Because yeah, there was a section where it was like, okay, here's the graffiti section of the video.
Although
like,
I did get a shot in there that was just some deer scat, and I'm like, why did this make the cut?
Yeah, I mean, there was definitely a lot of stuff where I was like, okay, yeah, it's just using automated tags, but like it was still cool. Like it was satisfying, like that it was your own footage. Yeah,
Cool.
Lost Records, dude.
See you in hell, don't not.
No, see you in the next game. I want more.
Yeah.
More.
Same.
I'm in this torn place where it's like I want more of their games. I don't necessarily think I want them to try to do more with this story though. Like I just don't know where it will play
I
out.
want one more chance, do or die, yes or no. One more.
I like the Lost Records kind of idea a lot. Like it's resonant with me. The setting, the vibes, the time period is really resonant with me. And so like, if the Lost Records heading continues on in an adjacent story, like if we see, if the story continues with Dylan or something like after the events of whatever, like. Or something, yeah.
Or
But
if Pam is just like riding around town to town in the area.
finding Bigfoots.
Yeah, exactly. Like if she's kind of the through line and there's just like all this weird ghost stuff happening in that region.
Yeah. I'm definitely not opposed to them continuing it. It would be neat if like they did something adjacent, but then like Cat and Swan are like sort of in the ether somehow, or like Pam kept showing up or something. Yeah.
Get us out of here, blood.
All right, thank you everyone for watching. Definitely leave your thoughts and your theories and all that in the comments below. Thank you to Elyse for joining us as always when it comes to Don't Nod Games.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah. If you have enjoyed all this, we're supported by viewers just like you. So go to patreon.com/easyallies to keep all of this rolling. And we got a lot of other fun things happening. We had Shuhei Yoshida on recently. We had Hank Rogers on recently. We've got an Indiana Jones interview that's going to be coming out around the same time as this. So take a look at all of that good stuff, and we'll see you soon.
Spoiler mode, final warning, spoiler mode activated.